Welcome to the Financial Times and the Corporate Learning Alliance. This is our first event of a series. And this series is dedicated to having open conversations between the learning functions within organizations and CEOs, and the C-suite in general. But we wanted to kick it off. This is our first one of the series. And we want to make sure that we had an opportunity to interact with the leading CEO so we can have an open, candid conversation about the role and the potential role of the learning function within the big corporation.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very much looking forward to this discussion and interaction with you all. Learning, training, executive education is very important, and it's very important in transforming, changing organisations, and that's what I've been about throughout most of my career. In terms of how I tackle the role of being a chief executive, I would say that I focus on three areas. The first is having a clarity of purpose. So whether that's vision, strategy, clear objectives. And the next thing I would say is I want the right people on board to do that. So having a great leadership team, having the top team and teams that cascade down from that work, that are effective as teams, is fundamentally important. And then the third thing I'd say is getting the processes right. Now that, when you're running a global organisation, that's absolutely vital that you have clear processes which cross borders, which cross languages, which cross cultures, so that people can work effectively and efficiently together. I mean, how can learning help move execution, transformation, and a successful business forward is very much the topic for this morning.
I think without exception on our table we talked about the focus on leadership being key to developing and maintaining a good level of engagement within an organisation. Allowing learning to develop or a learning culture to develop from the bottom up.
Within an organisation needs to be a slightly more holistic approach as well to actually sort of towards talent development and that type of thing.
Clear strategy alignment, so speaking in the language of the senior leaders in the business.
It has to be also around sort of transferability of skills, identifying what it is from a learning point of view you want to teach people as well. What are the skills you need to give people to make them the next generation of leaders within your organisation?
Look at linking all this back to business strategy, because at the end of the day, business has a strategy and learning has to play a key role in meeting some of those outcomes.
Morning, Nicola. You are Global Learning Director at Unilever, and you've joined us this morning for this discussion.
At the moment, we're undergoing a big period of transformation in learning, and a lot of that is around really aligning the learning to the strategy. So starting with strategy, starting with what's the context of the business, what's important now, what can we see coming just around the corner, and what are the skills and the capabilities that we need in the business to be able to really maximise those challenges.
How do you see your priorities changing or developing, evolving at the moment?
So we've spent the last year really focused on building leadership within the organisation, which is the biggest asset we have in terms of engagement across the organisation. So focusing on leadership for us has been an absolute priority, setting that consistent standard across the globe, and really providing our leaders with useful tools that they can use.
From your perspective within Direct Line, what do you see? What role do you see the C-suite plays in setting the culture around learning and development?
So it's a key pivotal role. We're lucky that we've got a CEO that's put people on the agenda. So we've just launched recently a new company strategy for the next sort of 3 years. As part of that, a key pillar is culture. And people are well on the agenda of that. So it's really embedded, and the sort of senior exec team of our organisation are constantly talking about learning and culture as part of the key enablers to drive the strategy over the next 3 years.